Here we have a Razer laptop that came in for no power. This one came in locally, and the customer said laptop does not power on. We already removed the back cover so we can look at the motherboard. There's no reason to remove the whole motherboard unless we have to. Most of the stuff I want to test, I want to inspect are on this side of the board, including fuses, MOSFETs, DR MOSFETs, diodes, everything. Work smart and not hard. The charging cable plugs in from here. So normally on any laptop we should have power MOSFETs, DC MOSFETs, 2 of them, along with a current sense resistor, a fuse. So I do see a fuse right here. Let's go ahead and measure. Make sure the fuse is good. Meter in diode mode, and we're gonna be using our amazing NF dot probes, the multimeter probes. I did go over those probes a few videos back. One of the best probes I've had since we started the business in 2014. Look at how fine the tips are. Silicon cables, heat resistant cables, and look at this. Look at this. The fuse is blown. No beep. If I touch the probes, we do hear a beep. If I go like this, we do not hear a beep. The fuse is blown. But we want to measure if we have a short circuit. Is the fuse just blown, or is it blown because of a short circuit? So meter in diode mode, we're going to measure here. And we are reading OL. And if we measure here, we are reading 0.185. So if you look here, those are the MOSFETs. We're going to measure, I believe, the second drain that we have on the right. The drain of the second MOSFET. Let's measure here. And look at this. Look at this. We do have a short circuit. We do not have a short circuit at the fuse, but we do have a short circuit here. Very common on Asus laptops, and I've done it many times on Razer laptops. I have a lot of videos working on Razer laptops with a short circuit. So we do have a dead short right here. Not a 0.1 short, not a 0.2 short, but a dead zero. If we go to ohms mode and we measure again, we have a dead 0 ohm short. We're going to get the same here, of course, at the current sense. So we know what's going on. Now, this laptop will either be a fix or no fix. I mean, what other options are there, right? It's a 50-50 chance. The thing is, a short here at the MOSFET is likely due to a V-core issue. One of those DR MOSFETs. Those DR MOSFETs can send the wrong voltage to the CPU and fry it. The CPU is right here. So if the CPU is good, we should be able to fix the laptop by replacing the DR MOSFET and fuse. If not, then what can you do? Let me remove the battery quick. We're going to have to remove the fuse anyway, so let's do it now. And then we're going to have to inject voltage at the short, monitor the board under a thermal camera, and see what gets hot. And it's going to be 99%, it will be one of the DR MOSFETs I showed you. The MP89, what is it? MP something. We do have those chips in stock. This is the... Okay, so this is the 8694. We do have the chips in stock. And that's a good thing. So let's go ahead and remove the fuse. And we do have those fuses in stock, no problem. And just by looking at the DR MOSFETs, do we see anything obvious? just a quick visual inspection. I do not see anything obvious. So we have our CPU here on top, our GPU on the bottom. Voltage injection tool on. We're gonna inject voltage at the short right here, and we're gonna monitor the board under a thermal camera and see what gets hot. One step at a time. Now the reason I should not have removed that fuse first is because the board is now hot. We're gonna have to wait a few minutes until that board cools down. All right, so we have our CPU on top here. Our GPU is right here. The DR MOSFETs are here. And the shorted MOSFET is right over here. So we're gonna inject voltage here, and we're gonna monitor this area based on my experience working on this laptop or any other laptop. Anytime we have a short on the DC MOSFETs, it's almost always a V-core related issue, unless it's something else. Voltage injection tool. We're gonna inject voltage. And what is getting, oh, right there. You see it? Okay, so it looks like it's a DR MOSFET. But is it the second or the third one from the bottom? We're gonna have to do it one more time. Okay, got it. So it's the third DR MOSFET from the bottom. Right there. That's the bad guy. Say hello to the bad guy. We got it. This guy is causing all the issues. He took out the fuse. He disabled the laptop. When you have a bad guy like this, you have to get rid of him. That's the smell of a burnt chip. We're gonna apply original Inventec Amtech Flux, and as you all know, we are a distributor for the Flux. Whatever you need, just log into our site, NorthridgeFix.com, click on shop, add to cart, checkout, pay. And we almost always ship out same day. We have everything from this amazing microscope, articulating arm, NF.mini soldering pan, soldering station, hot air station, thermal camera, tweezers, whatever you need. If you have purchased from us before, you know how fast we ship. If you do not hear this advertisement every day, it means you're not watching the real Northridge Fix. So I'm using NF.mini. Right, so the top pins, they all connect as one pin. So it's okay if they bridge. Let's apply some hot air. But before we do, we need the anti-glare light to the rescue. Glare is getting out of control here. Are you ready? If you're a hobbyist or in the same type of business, do not forget about the anti-glare light. Otherwise, you are missing out. Now let's grab a new chip. You think this laptop will work after we replace this DR MOSFET and the fuse? Leave it down in the comments. The prize is $1 million in Monopoly money. Like the last video, people are requesting, where's my 1 million in Monopoly money? We guessed it right. I don't even know if they make $1 million in Monopoly money. And we're almost there. So let's go here. We're gonna prep the pads for the fuse. And the fuse is soldered on perfectly. We're gonna measure to make sure everything is good before we power this laptop on. Hopefully the laptop will work and we can save this laptop for the customer. What happens if we do not fix this laptop for the customer, but we attempted the repair? We charge the repair attempt fee, $95. We rather fix it so the customer can have a working laptop and we can get paid the full price. But sometimes boats do not sail in the direction of the wind. Measure in diode mode from here to here. Do we have a continuous fuse? And we do. We're gonna measure from here to here. We are reading 0.13 before we read OL, and we are reading 0.13 as well. Very good. So are we gonna have a working laptop? That's the question. Or is it all talk and flexing muscles? We do not have the heatsink or fan connected, so I do not know if the laptop will power on. A lot of laptops and video cards, they shut off after a second if we do not have the heatsink on because they overheat and they go into protection mode. So assuming the battery is charged and assuming the laptop is working and assuming the laptop can power on without a heatsink, place your bets. Power. And all my assumptions are wrong. Battery is probably not charged. Let me grab a charging cable. I'm just checking to see if Big Boss disassembled anything I should put back other than the battery, and it looks like everything is good. Let me grab a charging cable. Now, one thing I want to do before we plug the charging cable in is I want to quickly measure for a short on the MOSFET, because we're gonna get some scientists in the comments. How come you didn't measure for a short after you replaced the DR MOSFET? How come? What if? Okay, so let's go ahead and measure. Do we have a short circuit? And the answer is no, of course not. So let me plug the battery right here. Let me plug the charging cable. I know everyone is waiting, including myself. So talk less and do more. And are we gonna get anything? Anything at all? Right now, I do not see any signs of life anywhere. What's going on? Let's measure to see if we have any voltage on the MOSFETs. We can check the fuse as well, meter in voltage mode. And we have 14.5 volts. We have 14.5 volts. And if we measure here, we have 14.5 volts. So the MOSFETs are receiving power. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no. I do see a green light. Right here. But a green light alone is not enough. We're gonna have to figure it out. I do not know if Razer batteries must be charged before the laptop powers on. I do see that green light. And the light, yeah, the light is blinking. Let's wait a few minutes. Maybe the battery has to be charged before the laptop powers on, or maybe we need to have the heatsink. Yeah, the CPU is burning hot. GPU is warm, CPU is hot. Let me check under the thermal camera quick. Maybe the battery needs to hold charge, or maybe we need to have the heatsink before that laptop powers on. So that's our CPU right here. Let's power the laptop on. See, the CPU powered on. And we still do not have an image because I think we may have to have the heatsink put on. And watch how the CPU is gonna go back off. It's gonna go into protection mode, and now it's back off. One more time. We're gonna power it on. CPU is turning on, and that's awesome. It means the laptop is working. And in a few seconds, it overheats because we do not have a heatsink, and it goes into protection mode. What if we use a temporary heatsink just to see if the laptop will power on? I'm gonna press this on the CPU. Maybe it can absorb some of that heat. It can dissipate some of that heat. If not, then we're gonna have to install the heatsink and see if the laptop will work. So I'm pushing on that heatsink just for the time being. I just wanna see an image. The light is on. The light is still on. Now it's off. So, you know what? I'll be back. Let's install the heatsink and fan and see what happens. What did I tell you? What did I tell you? Laptop is working. We needed to have the heatsink on, and wow, amazing. All we have to do is clean up that fuse, the flux next to the fuse, right here. Fans are on, heatsink is on. We're gonna end the video right here. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of it down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll do something else in the next video.